I am not looking forward yet. So probably when church Thursday.
Streaming live.
We live, yeah, we live. Probably Thursday when everything come, Yeah, we're on Jamaicans.com. When you're looking pretty and thing going on.
Okay, do you have to register and visit Jamaica?
Oh, tell us about the process, Dianna, to come to Jamaica.
I don't know. We live here. You're not going away. So we must know. When you come up Jamaica, we don't need to know. When you're going down to the Elegant corridor, when you go stay quarantine free down there, or when you come look for poor people and deliver barrels.
Them not stop again from going anywhere you want to go. I'm not sure that.
You have to go home and quarantine.
If you're fully vaccinated, you have to do the test at the airport.
Yeah, if you're fully vaccinated and you do a test at the airport, you can go anywhere you want to go.
Oh, so you're fully vaccinated, you do a test and then you just fly free.
So what? They more ask me to make.
But that's not good enough because a lot of people now with the fully vaccinated getting the new variant. So
people who fully vaccinated now get the new thing.
No, there are a few people on the news.
The
thing is that they're not dying. Yeah, not as deadly as if
you don't.
Yeah, but they can transmit it to people who are not.
But that's scary.
It is scary.
And then you see what they're doing in England, where that man who in charge of the country said that come July, them doing away with the mandate for them to wear masks and all those restrictions and stuff.
Countries are like that. Something happened though. What happened to that particular country that there was war or there was rioting or was there? No.
Where?
Well, what is the percentage of vaccination with them?
To the football after the football match. That's what you're talking about.
No,
I'm talking about the COVID, the protocols surrounding COVID. That England is saying come July, some date in July, you don't need to wear mask and you can do whatever you please.
Oh, you're talking about England. Oh no, there was another country that released it, and them got a big we call it again
a wave.
500% uptick, yeah.
Yeah, but Florida is having an uptick now too.
Yeah, 500.
That is what the medical people in England saying, that they can expect total disaster after that now. It is what it is.
It's what it is. You just have to do what you have to do.
You have to be careful when you're at Jamaica. Dianna, you get your can I ask you if you get the vaccine again already?
No, you cannot ask me.
Because I IPA that and I IPA Jamaica, right? IPA
Them don't reach my age yet.
You're too
They
young.
need to skip the ages because people in the age start doing it. People willing to take the vaccine at this point.
But they have some vaccine now. They get couple $60,000 vaccine recently.
Not 2 weeks ago, that or a week ago.
Are you saying that done already?
Yeah, because they had to give the people their second shots.
Oh.
So, but they're supposed to be getting more soon. It's coming.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Leo Gilling. We were here chit-chatting on a Tuesday night when we have attorney Michelle Fanger and also Dr. Dianna Davis Smith. Both are arguing with me this evening. Say me before we come online, right? Say me can't come to Jamaica.
You can do as you please.
Nobody
is stopping you. Nobody is stopping
under certain conditions. Barrel must come first.
Barrel come first.
You have to protect yourself.
You have to make sure that you're fully vaccinated.
Welcome to the conversation live with Dianna, Leo, and Michelle. I should say that the other way. Michelle, Dianna, and Leo. And tonight we have a lot of things on tap, and I hope that our reader lady ready for we for read articles so that we can, what the word me use, crush it up. Somebody use the word crush up today.
Crush up, what crush up mean?
I don't know what I mean.
You just use term I never know what I mean. What crush up mean?
That's how we crush up
You have
today.
to ask Michelle, and Michelle know them the young people thing.
Crush up Tuesday mean when by crush up Tuesday?
It's not a young people thing. It's not.
No. Because you don't know it, Michelle.
I don't know.
They shall crush up Tuesday. They shall crush up.
Crush up mean? Crush up mean sound like Callaloo crush up.
Yeah, crush eyes.
That's hard.
Going to Regal.
Great, crush eyes. Great.
Got some articles for us today?
Well, we do have some articles lined up to read. I don't even know that we never miss the reading days, tell you the truth, Leo, because it's just so much tragedy in Jamaica.
We don't want no more tragedy either. Our strategy.
Not a pastor get charged for rape.
Miss that.
Not a pastor upon a run for rape. 14-year-old hold for double murder. Double murder down in Westmoreland, and this is just the news.
I don't think we can change it at all.
But I read one of these articles about this double murder down in Westmoreland, and it says couple murdered, and I read it, and it was like a 24-year-old boy and a 19-year-old young lady. And I said to myself, when we were 19, Michelle, when you were 19, could you possibly live on the body yard and be referred to as couple?
Michelle is still 19. What are you talking?
Michelle, 2 years ago.
When I see these stories, I wonder, because at 25, I'm still afraid. So, I don't know. It's a different world.
And that is probably the culture. The problem is just a totally different family structure. Because, yes, you probably would have a child for somebody you're 19, but you're not going to live with them at no yard and be a couple.
You know, maybe it was happening and we didn't have the media. We didn't have social media. Maybe it was happening, you know.
Well, I could say in my community, it happened.
Leo, thinking of your community.
It happened. We don't recall that happened.
No, Leo, anybody get pregnant in their yard with their mother?
When I grew up in our community, the only people were there were, 88 and 90-year-old people.
Yes, but did you hear any 18-year-old who get pregnant and gone to live with the young man?
Oh, yeah, there were.
But how many? How often?
I don't know, but they were there. What happened is when they get pregnant at that age, them now they leave the community. I have a girl, I have a young lady in my class at grade 7 who got pregnant the beginning of grade 8. I may never see her again.
Yes, but we sure she never gone live with the baby father in some little place.
She did.
Not at 19, living in a house, supposedly, as a couple.
She went and lived
with her grandmother or some aunt or the other down in some place.
What happened is she was with a stepfather. She was with a stepfather, right? Sorry. She was with a stepmother, and she got pregnant, and she left school. She didn't go back to her parents' house. She went to live with a boyfriend. But I don't know.
Police are go for them. Quite a few people in our community got locked up, like even for getting girls pregnant.
But that was just a one-off. It's just too commonplace these days. I think that I still maintain that family structure, we need to go back to the family where young men and young ladies will find themselves in these spots, but they need to stay home with their parents, and parents need to support them a little bit more until they can truly be responsible adults.
I agree.
Many of them shacking up.
I agree with that, but I think that what used to happen is that when young ladies would get pregnant in our communities, they used to get shipped out, and the child go live with somebody, adopt the picnic and stay with them. I was telling, I thought it was Michelle I was telling that at the RU. I was telling that I lived right next to a big yard when I was growing up, and there were 4 children in this yard that grew up with me, and not one of them belonged to the couple, but they all came from within close proximity in and around the community. And they didn't grow. I only learned about one of the guy's father later on. I only learned who his mother was. Me learned who the mother of one of the ladies was, and then don't know the other one. Them.
That is good. They took them in and take care of them.
Community.
Maybe they're gonna provide.
Yeah.
So that is good. So they didn't fall by the wayside. How did they turn
No.
out?
They did not, because I'll tell you this. One of the ladies became a nurse, a RN, and the other lady was a teacher. One of the guy became a soldier. He was a soldier, very high-ranking soldier for a long time. I don't know if him they know, but the other one died. You know, he kind of had, I think he had some problems because, so what the problem was, we can't talk about it because nobody know me talk about. The man who was taking care of him was supposed to be his father, but didn't accept him as his father.
Oh, so it messed up him
living in the house.
psychologically.
Yeah, he's living in the house with the rest of the kids, and he's supposed to be not supposed to be the father's son, and he is, and he recognized that, but he didn't. The father didn't want anything to do with it.
Okay.
So he had some problems later on.
Yeah, but as Dianna says, the community came in, stepped in, helped out. So that's what's needed. You know, like when you see somebody need you help, so people don't fall by the wayside, these children. And when I saw the age group, and a lot of the age group are the crimes and even these killings, some of them not even past 25.
Yeah.
Today's a 14-year-old. 14, 14-year-old.
I don't get that. That don't make any sense.
What?
The whole of a killing. I don't get. I still can't understand that at all.
Me either. Me don't know what going.
And we were told that for many years that the killings were done in gang-ridden neighborhoods. It's not true. That it was concentrated in these particular areas only, and we as tourists can come home and we don't have to worry about them because we're not going to them gang neighborhood. But that's not true, because it's all over Jamaica, anywhere.
Kind of sad.
It is. Can we not talk about no murder?
Yes.
You know about no murder. Tell me about mango season not done or something like that. Or tell me about Guinea season coming up or something like that. You know about no more murder, man. It too. You know about nothing.
Okay, I'm reading some of my comments.
Yes.
Carleen Madden said South Africa. I guess when you're talking about the unrest.
Oh.
Ja Lightning said, bless up, fam. Bless up. Carleen Madden said, crush up means tear the article apart. Thank you. Rose Russell said, Leo is right. It's been happening for ages, just hidden.
Yes.
Marsha Major said, it takes a community to raise our children. We have to look out for each other.
Yep.
That is true. I agree.
True.
And you know I am becoming more aware that these things have just been hidden over the life of our lives.
That's true.
And a lot of this buggering and incest and rape and them stuff they've been happening. It's just that we either were too young to understand, or we never have social media. We were blinded by our parents and fooled by the people around us.
Well, me want to be fooled and blinded by my parents. Me want blind, make me fool. Make me stay the fool and ignorant. Too much, it's too rampant, and it's too commonplace, and we take it for granted, and it becomes the norm. Me no want it to be the norm that you hear that 2 people murdered, and by the time it's been around 2 more. Me no want it to be the norm that somebody gets pregnant at 19 and them gone shack up with the boyfriend at 24, neither of them working. You know, make them stay home with the parents, but the parents help them suffer through. Send the picnic to one aunt who don't have no picnic down the road or in another parish. We want this village to raise the people them again.
Yeah, I know what I saw today, a politician posted it. his name is Henriquez. I forgot where he is, but he posted this drive for like teenagers for the police force, the cadet. I was like, why isn't it being encouraged for all these young people? Because he's the first person, I didn't even know it still existed, that posted about it, that you could come in at 16 and at 18 if you want to transition in, you're able to transition.
Get it. Used to be over in St. Mary at Prospect.
But why not promote it more for all these young people that?
Oh, because the money not in there.
It's not really money. You go put them on farm.
When you ever tell me at 16, me must go turn cadet when me can go do other things with one little bang of phone. One night me earn where you earn all year.
Actually.
Oh, you give up so quick.
No, because reality, because I remember at the point when I left Jamaica, when scamming started, and you had these little 16-year-olds driving the latest cars and everything, and it was rich, and then they all died. Most of them died, and then you see how Montego Bay turned. But so you have to find things to make it more attractive.
Exactly. They have to find different ways to make it attractive. So if I was the minister, ask me what I would do.
What would you do?
Minister, what would you do?
Well, as a minister, like Michelle said, you have to find ways to make it more attractive. So you encourage them to join the cadet. You give them some incentive. So you join the cadet, you serve for 10 years, you get a pension of X amount of money. So they know that they have something to get. Your children, if you're married and you have children will get a discount at particular schools. You have to find some way to make it worth it. But the things that they're scamming for them, so them can send them to go to school and put food on them table. Give them some assistance in those areas.
I forgot. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because the thing is that I know through the military here, I remember they had this drive, but how they had this drive was have the, like how they like live action and they want to be on. So they had this, so like it was an action movie. And you see them running and going through the fields with the gun. And they're like, and the numbers increased because yes, they wanted to go out. You see all these young kids. Like, and that's an option for them because now they're in colleges. They say, all right, come. A lot of children leave college and pay. They'll pay for your college. You get student loan. They'll pay it off. Like within 6 months, they're paying off your, student loan. So it attracts people to join. It helps them to purchase their first home and everything. So people are joining. They're like, oh, you just finished law school. Like I have friends finish law school and join the military. But they go in as officer and they get a house, the loan pay off.
Yes.
Beyond a year.
Incentive. So you
have all this money.
When you went to college, did you go to college in Jamaica, Michelle?
No, here.
Can't talk to you then. When you went to college in Jamaica, Diana, did you pay? Yes, you did? Okay. When me got college, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. What is the thing where you get in the evening near 6 o'clock? The English supper. And
school you go?
Some shop. When I went to some shop, boarding, water, light, everything pay for. School, I didn't.
Then who pay for it?
The government.
But weren't you bonded?
No.
Really?
So what happened?
Things that mash up the country.
Exactly. That was a bad idea. Look, you're not even there. You use a degree. You're not even there. You use a degree and you left the country. It's supposed to be building.
You take yourself up and run gone off a foreign. Come back here.
You had no more with the organization still. I give you credit. Credit for that. But the purpose was to give you the free education so you stay and build up your country.
So what happened was, coming out of colonialism, where only the
sector society gets to go.
College, right? Michael Manley had to show the world and Jamaica that people of color could have the same.
On that premise, fine.
Bastardization of kids, Remember that? If you don't,
Yeah.
if you belong to a father, and if you're out of wedlock, you're not a child of the father. I don't think that. So during the 70s, he gave up everything to make sure that every black person was equal, had equal access to hospitals, equal aspect to high school, primary school, tertiary institutions, all of that. And so a lot of us who understood what that meant, really still give back to our country, even if we left.
Okay. So it was just a way of leveling the play field.
Leveling the play field, yes, okay. It was. It certainly did. It really did. And that's the only time, I advocate for PNP, not no liberal. I'm not part of labor. I am.
I just am advocate for PNP when he said that.
Yeah. Let me just. Yeah, I'm just saying that was the time when it was needed badly.
Yes, and I think that it really created an opportunity for people at a certain strata of the society who perhaps would never have been able to afford to send their children to college.
Yeah, we would never have a chance to go to college, wouldn't that?
But I think it's still been done. Some of those programs. What was the guy that came on the program? He always told my mom, the other in Mandeville. He said they have like a science program, like if you want maths and science.
Yes, they have a STEM focus where they give scholarships
they cover it.
Pursue that.
Agriculture, they have at the agriculture school, they have that, but they're not telling children that they have these options. They're telling people that you need to talk to a lawyer.
Yes.
These things. And not looking at those areas.
Wanting to be a lawyer, you're a failure.
Yeah, or a doctor.
Or a doctor.
Because they have this program.
What is probably absent for us as a society is that we don't have a long-term strategic plan with particular milestones for the country. So, like we would say in the education sector, some other industry want to put up X number of factories in a particular timeline. We don't have that strategic outlook. So whoever is in party know that you're in power, you have to stick to this plan.
Yeah.
We just keep cutting and stopping, and somebody else has an idea. Even within the same administration, when ministers change, the other one come with a new project.
Brand new. Hey, listen, when minister change, all of the email address then gone.
That's crazy. That's a waste, and it's counterproductive. Because if we had a long-term vision, regardless of who's driving it, who is the minister so designated, they must follow through on it.
It's not, and listen, and some programs should definitely be changed.
But that's why you must have a strategic plan where you agree.
Everything that passed through Parliament should steer, because that was a policy by the policymakers. If it's like the Prime Minister will come up with something and him have a little program go on until the end of term and he can go. You understand? But if it's something that went through Parliament, it should continue. It's hard to know what was policy making through Parliament or Senate, and what was a program just came aboard because of, hey, look at, hey, how you do? She not hear me.
In our audio.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Adrian, I have a sick baby.
Oh, she named.
What's that mean?
Oh, she named John Ross.
No,
that's my son.
Her John.
Always have to change it.
Oh, Miss, but I'm not even know you. We don't know you as John Ross.
Don't talk.
Oh my. Nadine.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this: did you grow up in the 70s or in the 80s? Almost.
Both.
All right. So you get free education. You get free education.
Yes, it depends on what you mean by free.
Listen to me, man. Answer my question. Me got-
You have to pay tuition fees.
you don't have to pay tuition fee.
At high school, yeah. But then you see, I went to the best high school in Jamaica, St. Andrew High for girls. So
We have to go through this setting, you know. We have to go through this setting, you know. We have to go through this setting, you know. All right. So you never get a chance. So I got free education from primary school, high school, and also up at the tertiary level.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when they were changing, I think they were trying to go back to free education for high school.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I think in
Draw funds.
90s. Yeah, but it never worked out because like we went to boarding school, so they couldn't we still had to pay the boarding portion.
where you went, Hampton?
No, I went to Westwood High School for girls.
I have a lovely friend who went to Westwood. She is so ladylike.
I tell you,
I mean-
we are.
She doesn't, you sit and you slouch. No, not her.
No, you're supposed to sit upright.
Yes, that's how she sits.
Stop,
All the
Leo,
time.
sit up.
What? What's wrong with you?
Leo, sit up.
Stick up. Lux.
Yeah, but I don't think it worked out too well because with the funding and everything, because it was hard. I don't think they continued with it. It was just a proposal, I guess.
So Nadine, you're a Kingston girl. You know,
And bread.
all this time I think say you're a country girl. I was finding a little love for you somewhere in my heart. But I can't take the Kingston people, man. I like the country people. Sure.
Listen,
Yeah.
born and bred right there, Toil.
What is it?
South St. Andrew,
What is it about?
Olympic Garden.
What is Olympic Gardens? Oh, is that right? But that's a country though.
Come on.
No,
No.
it's right there at Hagley Park Road.
Not further up, not on Hagley Park. You have to go up on Olympic Way.
Oh,
Yes, you have to turn. And I say it because I worked at Scotia Hagley Park. And that's
Okay,
the road
okay.
that you used to go straight up.
Yes, that's the road. You go straight up.
you did have mango tree in your yard?
No, but we had
One and two
soursop
houses,
and
but
we
not
had
many.
ackee.
You did have Neesbury?
No Neesbury. There's some knock of country at that.
Now ask a question, man.
But Nadine, you know, I have some
No.
cousins who
Yeah.
grew up down there too, you know.
Really? Where?
Here?
Olympic Gardens, Wilson.
Eh? I don't know. But I let me see, I left when I was about 13, 14, but I mean I go back and always used to visit because I still have lots of family up there.
Up where? Up where? Where you talking about?
Olympic Gardens.
Olympic Gardens, we call it Tower Hill.
Okay.
That's what we really call it. But people get it confused with Tower Isle, but it's not Tower Isle, it's Tower Hill.
So,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
Nadine, do you
Yes,
know a
ma'am.
girl,
Olympic Gardens.
Yes,
are
ma'am.
place.
Carlene
Huh?
Roberts?
Carlene, what?
It's a run track.
From
St. Andrews?
Andrews?
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Maybe
Oh.
she was after me. You only know. You only look young.
There was
now.
a fast guy. No, that's
Guy, she went to Andrews. What are you
That's-
talking about?
oh, yeah. Lord.
Okay,
St. Andrew
Nadine,
High School
welcome.
for girls. Didn't I say that?
Welcome. Welcome.
We never welcome her. Nadine, so my God.
Oh, I stepped away.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for joining us this evening.
thanks for joining us, Nadine. We were talking a little about,
I always like when you come on the show.
yeah, we were
You bring
talking.
little calmness to my soul because I love make nice and get excited and all that thing there. And then you just bring me back down to normal.
Okay.
Don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but I'll take it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I know
Let's
that
talk
you
about
want
you, Nadine.
Yes.
Yes,
We want
ma'am.
to
We were talking about crimes in Jamaica. And I
Talking about
know
what?
crime.
crimes, a little about what's going on now and the whole structure. I know you have a history in the legal aspect. Could you tell us briefly about, your history, Jamaica, your...
Well, as I said, born and grown in Toil, right there, top of Hagley Park Road, if you know it, up to Tower Avenue. went to St. Andrew High School, as I said, the best school in Jamaica, if I say so myself, and apparently I do.
Yeah.
Um,
Go alone.
and I did what they call the common entrance exam. You know, now they say, is what it is now, PEP or something?
PEP.
No, I did common entrance when they still had mental ability.
Yes.
Yes, I did that. But strangely enough, my cousins who went to Andrews as well, and I desperately wanted to go to Andrews because I had 2 cousins going there and I wanted to be just like them. They didn't do, I think they did like a composition or something when they were doing common entrance. And when I did it maybe 2-3 years later, we never had that part of it. So that was,
I had composition.
You had composition, right? Because my cousins, they are maybe, one's maybe 5 years older, the other one maybe about 7 years older than me. So when I went to Andrews, then I left, I went to UA. Those days is like, you know, it's like, that's the path. Leave high school, you go to UA. Finished UA. I always wanted to be a lawyer, but when I went to UA, kind of took a different path. Did my first degree, and then I did a master's in history. I'm a great lover of history. So I did a research degree in history, actually. I worked for quite a few years. I like to tell people I've had many jobs. And then decided later on in life, I'm going to go and do law now. And I did. Left Norman Manley Law School in, I think, 2006. So I've been, from November, I will have been admitted to the Jamaican bar for 15 years. Yes. You know, they say a dog of my age.
She don't look so old. She don't look so old at all. 15 years now look, yeah, you don't
I look 30, don't it?
You look really, really, really.
So then when I left, when I finished Norman Manley, I started out as a clerk of the court, which is for, well, persons who are in Jamaica will know that a clerk of the court work in what we call, now they call it the parish court. Back then, it was a resident magistrate's court. I suppose the closest approximation for persons who live in America or outside of Jamaica to kind of understand who a clerk of the court is would be that attorney you see in the court or on the television who basically marshals evidence for the crown or the state, the people. In Jamaica, we call it the crown because remember that we still have vestiges of the system from Britain. So I was a clerk of the court for a little while at Halfway Tree, and that in and of itself was quite an experience because the corporate area criminal court is perhaps the hotbed of what happens in the court system. The cases actually begin their life. Every criminal case begins its life in what we call now the parish court. It used to be called the resident magistrate's court. So you find that over the course of any 1 year, there are thousands of cases that come through those courts all over the island. But I was fortunate enough to be at what everybody calls Halfway Tree, but properly it is the corporate area criminal parish court.
What does a typical day look like in our courtroom in Jamaica? I don't know.
Well, a typical day in a court can differ depending on the court. So I was a clerk and then I became what we call a crown counsel at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. So I can give it to you from that angle. And I was also defense counsel. So I have, thankfully, 3 perspectives that I can share. As a clerk of the courts, your day is hectic. And your day is hectic from the get-go because you start your day long before 10 a.m., which is when court starts. Mm-hmm. You have files that are new, so you've never seen them before. You might have files, and when I say files, I mean documents regarding allegations that defendants are alleged, and note the wording, alleged to have committed particular offenses. So you may have case files that are new. You may have case files that have been in the system for some time. You have to prepare yourself for whether it's a trial, or you might have to prepare for the court day, as it were. And preparation, as I said, begins long before the court day starts. So it is not unheard of for a clerk to get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. You get to work, you call your police officers to check what's happening with the cases. You call witnesses to find out what's going on, because you're preparing not just for the trial matters, but you also have other matters that the court, meaning the judge, expects that you're going to be giving information to the court to make decisions. And defense counsel might also be expecting certain bits of information. You might have to prepare witnesses by letting them look at what they said about so and so on a previous occasion. You have to prepare the courtroom. So that means you are making sure that the court sheet, which is what the judge is going to be writing in, is ready. You have to make sure that the police officers who are in charge of the court are aware of what is going on today in court. All of these things take place before 10 o'clock.
Wow.
When court starts at 10, the judge comes in, and if it is that we have cases that you're going to be trying, then you advise the court that these matters are ready for trial, meaning we have witnesses and we're going to start. If the matter cannot start on that day, then we will be adjourning, meaning we're putting it off. Yes. So that's perhaps it in a nutshell for the court generally.
I forgot, they have questions too, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Well, Annie, you're muted. You're muted,
Michelle. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. I have one question in regards to the court. You said you have also been on the defense side.
Yes.
And you represent the state, I guess, the Jamaican government. Now that you've seen like all these cases with minors going before the court, like have you ever dealt with such cases, and what, like if you commit certain crime as a minor, they have certain defense where they don't treat you as an adult. How does it work in Jamaica?
Hold on, let me make sure I understand what you're asking. You're asking about where the defendants are minors, or where?
Yeah, minors. Like how we see a lot of minors committing these crimes. Do they have diversion programs for them?
We have an interesting mix in the parish court, because remember I said all cases start in the parish court. There is what is called family court, and there are certain matters that's where they go regarding children. For criminal offenses that children might have been alleged to have committed, they will go before those judges. Most of the times, dependent on whether or not it is a matter that can be tried in the parish court, because the parish court has a jurisdiction, meaning only certain offenses can be tried there. And if it's a civil matter, there is a limit on how much money you can recover in the parish court. In Jamaica, it's $1 million. If you want to recover $1,001,001, you have to go to the Supreme Court. If it's under $1 million for a civil matter, you can try and recover that in the parish court. For criminal offenses, there are certain offenses that the jurisdiction lies, meaning that is where it can be tried in the parish court. So for example, let's say a minor has been accused of murder. That offense cannot be tried in the parish court.
Who's a minor? First of all, who's a minor?
Young person. There's an act that speaks, the name is escaping me now. Child Care and Protection Act indicates the age for minors between 16, maximum I think 18. most times it's 16. There's an offense that is going, and it leads to what Michelle asked about diversion, where, for example, a young person has been accused of some sexual offense against an alleged complainant. Some of those offenses are now going for what they call diversion. There is an act in place now, and I believe they might have also put together the regulations. And some offenses.
What does diversion mean? Meaning that you're going to treat them as adults, or?
No, you're not treating them as adults. Quite the contrary. Based on the allegations, because one must remember that until a person has been proven guilty, everything before the court remains an allegation until one has been proven guilty or one pleads guilty. Based on the allegations, the clerk of the court can indicate to the judge that this appears to be a case where diversion might be beneficial. Oftentimes, it is not an offense that is extremely serious, quote unquote. So, for example, one obviously would not get diversion for a case of murder, but one could possibly get diversion for a case of I'm trying to think what's a really good example. Let's say assault.
Okay.
Let's say Michelle and I were 17 or 16 and we're fighting in school.
Yeah.
And I punched her in the face and she got a swollen lip or the lip burst, or she punched me in the eye, or that kind of offense could possibly
you and Michelle were fighting for mangoes.
or if you want to drop off some of those letters. So a case like that could well go to diversion, because we recognize that young people are exactly that, young people. And which one of us has never had your blood boil? Which one of us has never had?
All the time.
Exactly. So there are some cases that are ripe for diversion, because what it does is to take these young people out of the regular criminal law system and put them in a place where the court recognizes and understands and seeks to help them.
Yeah.
So that's part and parcel of how I understand the diversion program too.
Did you ask your question already, Doc? No.
Yes, I did.
So my question is, Nadine, when we grew up, we weren't accustomed to this level of crime, the type of crime that's being committed, the amount of crime, the amount of physical beatings, the amount of gunshots, the amount of knifing and all of that stuff. We weren't accustomed to seeing all of this stuff and out so blatant out in the general public. What is causing this? What's the phenomenon?
I'm no sociologist or psychologist. Yes, I am a mere lawyer. But it is interesting that people always say, back in my days, things weren't so X or things weren't so Y. But what I think we have to look at is the fact that the times are changing. There's been an evolution. Persons perhaps feel more led to settle their differences less amicably than they might have in the past, because that's part and parcel of it. There's a thinking that we as Jamaicans, perhaps we don't talk about our feelings enough. Certainly, you can see from some of the domestic violence incidents and from what the commissioner of police and the other, senior police officers say, talk, and we hear this all the time, that try and talk it out, don't fight it out. I think there's some campaign like that too, talk it out, not fight it out. But I really couldn't tell you exactly what accounts for the increase that we have in crime, but I do know that the parish court system sees a great number of cases. In any one year, there are far too many cases across the 14 parishes. And of course, some of them will end up in the Supreme Court because that's where the jurisdiction lies, meaning that is where they're going to be tried.
Right. You wrote a book on violence, didn't you?
No, not on violence. Remember, I tell you, I'm not a sociologist, you know. I wrote a book on the parish court system, the criminal jurisdiction of the parish court system. It's called On Your Feet, Criminal Law Practice in the Parish Courts in Jamaica. It basically shows you all that happens in the parish court. It explains what jurisdiction means, as I just said. It tells you about persons who come in as defendants and require bail. It looks at file preparation, which I just spoke about, that as a clerk, your day does not actually start when you stand up in the court, which sometimes a lot of persons don't recognize. And as a defense attorney, your day definitely does not start when you go to court, because you have to prepare for your case. Mm-hmm. The book looks at things like fingerprints, and that is crucial because, especially since we're talking and we have members of the diaspora who might be listening or might be watching, it is important to remember that even though they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, that does not work for the criminal law.
That's as far as sex is concerned. So you can drop that. That's sex on a crime.
I can't speak to that part. But as it relates to fingerprints, for example, if you are accused of particular offenses, there may well be what is called a fingerprint order against you. I mentioned that in the book. So the judge will indicate and instruct the police officers to take your fingerprints. Now, let's say the matter goes in your favor and you are acquitted or it doesn't finish or whatever, and then your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife petitions for you to come to the United States, but you forget. Perhaps it was a trauma, perhaps it's convenience, whatever. You forget that you had this criminal law matter 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And when you are completing your documentation, Michelle can probably speak to this, when you're completing your documentation and the question comes up quite innocently, have you ever been charged or arrested for any offense? You are going to just think, nope, because as far as you're concerned, I don't even remember what happened yesterday, much less 25 years ago.
I think somebody hide it. They hide it for you. I think you can get a clean.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody hide it for you.
There's so many permutations, but that unfortunately comes back to haunt you. So where that is concerned, you always have to err on the side of caution because it can have very negative repercussions later on. I look at the issue of sentencing in the book. So let's say that your matter goes to trial and you're not acquitted, but you're found guilty, or you're found guilty, then the matter of sentencing comes up. And that's very important too, because Jamaicans have a tendency to say, we get a road sentence, which means I did not go to prison.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of the criminal law, whether you get a road sentence or you go to Cameron Farm or wherever, it is a conviction for the purposes of the law. Oh. And certainly for immigration purposes, it is also a conviction.
Yes. Before you go any further, Michelle has a question.
Michelle, I teach her.
Yeah, it keeps going. Like I had one before, and then now I'm thinking of another one. So the first one is, when you said fingerprint, you said something about the judge ordering it.
Yes.
Like they don't require it for everyone that's locked up.
there are particular offenses under the Fingerprint Act that the judge has no discretion but to order a fingerprint that fingerprints can be taken.
I think they should change that.
Of course, we're advocates. So when I am defense counsel and I go to court with my client, I can impress upon the judge that perhaps we should wait to take my client's fingerprints. The judge can accede, or the judge can say, no, fingerprint order. But there are certain offenses in the Fingerprint Act that
require.
I think
they should do it, because to me,
they should do what? Make it mandatory.
Make it mandatory.
Like once you're locked up and you're taken in, they take a fingerprint. So I think that's one of the issues that could help solve a lot of the crimes, is having these fingerprints.
I don't think so. Remember, that there are certain offenses that the print must be taken. But there are offenses that the print basically may be taken. And as I said, you're an advocate and your client has
the law there
requested that you advocate for him.
I get your position, but
and you advocate. You see, I can talk from the two sides. Right. You advocate, but the fingerprint order really only comes to bear if one pleads guilty or one is found guilty. If one is acquitted after a trial, the fingerprint is to be destroyed. In fact, there's provision.
I guess.
But you're acquitted, so what is the fingerprint?
Yeah, but I guess because I'm in a different system.
You have to understand.
Yeah, I guess because I'm in a different system. Right. When we do the fingerprint, they have a fingerprint for everything. Like immigration, everything.
You have to also look at the resources that's going to be required.
Yeah, limited. Yeah.
Well, that's a good system in my view, because if it is that I have not been found guilty of a crime,
I don't want to tagging me. Why should you have my fingerprint?
My fingerprint.
Well, in the US, we really have a choice.
Yeah, but
we have our fingerprint.
But we understand the law there, so in Jamaica.
We understand in Jamaica, but they need to revise the law, especially the
No, Michelle.
I don't agree with that at all.
I'm not happy with that.
I want to agree with Michelle.
Attorney, I think it should be changed. I think if they want to help with combating crimes, they need to.
But what would be the benefit?
Yeah.
Because if I am found not guilty, obviously,
it shouldn't have been to the court.
What are you going to do with my fingerprint?
Well, you can link it to
the database.
Are you going to be lying in wait for me to do something else? I say,
yes.
Gotcha.
But you could link to something else, because if we have it in a database.
But listen, when they take the fingerprint, they run it through. I don't know exactly what the police do, but they have their systems and they run it through. So they may well find that John Brown might have been implicated in an offense that took place sometime before. Okay. And so John Brown can be brought before the court for that offense in addition to the one that he's before the court for. Because for a lot of the offenses in Jamaica, there is no statute of limitation.
I don't think it should be.
Bear in mind that what Nadine said is that
the system in our way. It's saying that the only time that I need your fingerprint is if you have committed a crime and you have been found guilty. That's what you're saying to me, right? Is that right?
No, she's saying that's the only time.
Under the law, there are offenses that the fingerprint is taken for.
But you're saying
you are acquitted of those crimes, those allegations,
you're saying
prints are destroyed.
You're saying the same thing, because what you're saying is that if I get acquitted, this thing should not have gone to court. That means you shouldn't have got my record.
No. It's a little different. Let me put it.
Don't so slow.
I don't know. You see?
I have to convert. Slowly.
It's not the same, because remember,
that from your mindset and think about it in this light. if I get charged for a particular thing, not charged, but I get dragged off to police station for a particular offense, they're going to take my fingerprint. No, when I go to court now, and I know the judge because he's my lodge brother, and him don't find me guilty, him send me back.
No, that's not how it goes. No, I cannot sit here and let you say that. That's not how it goes.
Okay.
Not how it goes. I have no. Stop.
You cannot impugn the system. It
cannot impugn the integrity of the legal system.
All right, fine. It's not because my lodge brother, because I'm told not to.
You can't. Listen. I'm an attorney, and you cannot.
In Jamaica, licensed in Jamaica.
You can't do that.
I wish to tell you that was just to have a little icebreaker, but I don't mean it in any serious way. Of course, our victims does not tolerate that kind of thing.
We respect the court.
We are strict and stringent down here in Jamaica.
Well, you know, stop laugh. We respect the court.
So it's a matter that the case got thrown out for whatever reason, and now because of that, I'm no longer of interest to the court.
So they'll throw it out.
Throw out the fingerprint.
But that's what I'm saying.
But however, bear in mind what Nadine says, that when I came in the first instance and I gave my fingerprint because it was required by virtue of what I was being charged, drawn for, they would have run a check to see what else me did possibly did do. So you have that access to it during that period. And it might be retained even though I get off on that one, but the other charge might.
All right.
Precisely, because persons sometimes have multiple offenses before the court. Yes, sir.
Let's look at an analogy, right? I'm going to bring up something that most people listen. When I tell you right now, I am an advocate women. So anything we say right now, okay?
Why are you shouting on your microphone not working?
Legal things. All right. This guy named Bill Cosby.
No, hold on. Remember now, the next thing you must do. Listen, I cannot speak about that because I don't do criminal law in America. In America, I do immigration.
You cannot speak about that.
I can't talk about that. I can talk about criminal law in Jamaica.
Okay,
I can only talk about criminal law in Missouri.
I am talking to the people who are listening. On the legal matter of Bill Cosby, because the court vacated the matter, then say him was not charged, him should not have been charged. So right now it's as if he was not charged, which means if it were in Jamaica, his fingerprints would have been destroyed. That's what my understanding.
Okay, I understand. Okay. Can I also point out something else?
His fingerprint is not destroyed. It's kept.
Yeah, it's kept. It's kept.
Okay.
When I look on your card, it's right there. They have the fingerprint. It's not going anywhere. I just want to add another thing to when you said it's important to know the system. And I think that is as important you're talking about the parish court. Because I've had this issue with a lot of clients from Jamaica in regards to immigration. And they go to these courts and they plead guilty to these offenses. Like they have a little spliff, and then I realize that they're pleading to trafficking.
Yes, they plead guilty.
With drugs. They plead guilty and say, oh, I just like $500 in the money.
Yes, plead guilty with explanation.
Yeah. But they don't understand the implication. They don't understand immigration implication is that they're trafficking drugs. When they plead guilty to that, is that they're trafficking drugs.
Well, thankfully,
and it impacts them.
Yes, let me put it this way. I think persons who are before the courts, and it happens in every country. When you are before the court as a defendant, and I say this from the perspective of having defended many persons after I stopped prosecuting, the anxiety that you feel, only you who are sitting there can deal with that.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter what your lawyer say. Listen,
you alone are feeling.
Have an excellent case, and I'm going to fight very hard for you. you are in
Yeah.
the pickle at the time.
Yes.
You know, you are in the lions then. And so you make decisions based on what is now. You're not necessarily thinking about what's going to happen 5 years down the line.
No, you
True.
don't.
But when you're making the decisions, what I always suggest to people, and of course sometimes it doesn't happen for many reasons, you could say to your lawyer, for example, if you have one, because a lot of persons in the parish courts don't always have
Yeah.
representation for many reasons. You advise, Michelle, you can definitely speak to this. Your clients don't tell you everything. They don't tell you everything. So there are certain cases where, let's say, John Brown's mother was petitioning for him, and he has a matter before the court. It may well be more prudent for John Brown to take his chances with a trial than to decide to take a plea, because it will most likely have an impact on his immigration benefit down the line. But as I said, when it is you who are in the lion's den,
Yeah.
it's different.
Let's take some comments. Let's take some comments, Michelle.
Not much. Are you seeing anything on yours? Patricia Barnes says, well, Sandra says, hello, royal panelists and fellow listeners. Patricia Barnes says, Sandra, sterling greetings. Patricia Barnes said, hello, everyone. Sandra said, I'm communicating for both of them. Sandra said, hi, my friend Pat. Dale Rose says, the law need to change for those with kids that is 18 years old in Jamaica. This cause it's charged as an adult. I think it's saying they should be charged as an adult. Key Dot Nestle said, Louis Gibson. Teresa Towson said, hi, everybody. Trisha Sang said, how are you so slow? Patricia Barr says, hello, you guys are a mess. I love you, Diana David Smith, sense of humor. Maximilian says, not so in the UK. Primrose says, it's not so in the UK. I guess it's fingerprints. Primrose Russell said, great discussion. Maximilian said, hi, friends. That's it. Do you see anything else on the other platforms?
I have not. I'm looking right now.
You don't know how to access it. You barely know how to using code to dial regular phone number much more.
Yeah, but while he's doing that, what I do like is that the book is going to tell people, and I think it's important for people to understand how the system works.
Which book?
Oh,
but
my
I want
book.
to see the book.
Oh, sure. I can show you. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? Right.
On your feed, Original Law Practice in the Parish Courts in Jamaica. How do we get a copy of that now? Because I'd love to put that in my library.
It's on Amazon, and you can get it via the publisher, which is Ian Randall Publishers. But Amazon, perhaps, because you can get everything on Amazon, it is on Amazon.
Amazon is available on Amazon.
Right?
Give me
in local shops in Jamaica, because remember, I'm in Jamaica.
I'm not sure if it is in local shops, but it is certainly available through the publishers, Ian Randall Publishers, and I can send you. Let me see if I can.
Yes, and post it over here, so in the chat. Michelle, please type it in the chat so we see
my glasses.
who the publishers are.
No, look a bit more.
I am. What? Look here.
Excuse me.
Okay.
One thing, Nadine.
Yes,
Amazon will be in Jamaica now. So
yeah, my niece buys stuff on Amazon every day.
No, like don't have to ship it there. They're gonna have.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know, but it's maybe
then
St. Thomas.
I must appear roast breadfruit and what?
Yeah, but
we ship brown here, because when we order things like that, which warehouse we're going to have for circuit?
I don't even know. But yeah, what was that
question? Uber come to Jamaica. That doesn't make no sense.
Can I ask my question now?
Yes, you can.
I want an understanding of the court system in Jamaica, the different levels of court. Because when we grew up, the only court we know is circuit court. Me see a whole heap of circuit court, and it galang for a week, and tie up traffic every day. What
Right.
are the different levels of courts and court system?
You
up there?
have to buy the
Yeah.
book. Don't answer no question, Nadine. I'm your lawyer. You
Ah,
have to buy the book. You want to know all those things, you need to buy the book.
we see my friend then go a circuit court all the time because them have picnic maintenance.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
well,
the book
usually
is
that
available
would be
through
that
Ian
would,
Randall
right.
Publishers.
And I'll put it in the chat. Ian Randall Publishers. It's on Herb McKinley
No,
Drive.
not this chat. Text it to me. Text it to me on
Oh.
WhatsApp, and then I put
Alright.
it on the Facebook.
All right.
Yes, but
All right, we'll do. Well, it covers only the parish court, as I said, but it gives you a good indication of what pretty much happens. And as I said, the parish court is where everything starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single criminal allegation starts in
Okay.
parish courts of Jamaica. And unfortunately, we have quite a few. I think on the parish court website, you can find the statistics. There were well over 10,000 cases last year, I think.
It says one court per parish.
Oh no,
more.
oh no.
Or
oh,
I
no.
think Falmouth
For
have-
example, in the corporate area, there is the criminal
Leo,
court
sorry.
at halfway
Sorry,
tree.
and
There is
sorry,
a civil
sorry, Nadine,
court
but
at
that's a logical
7th Street.
question, Leo, because it says
Parish
parish court.
Parish
And I
courts.
mean, there person who would count up all of them and get 15
14.
parish, but continue.
Okay. All right.
There
Go
are
ahead.
several, and you have outstations as well. You see, like
Yeah.
Leo was saying, what he was used to as a youngster. There
Circuit.
are what we also call the outstations. So, for example, if you are the judge in, let's say, St. Anne, you may well be going to 3 different or 4 different
Yeah,
courts
traveling.
in the parish,
In
as
St.
well
Anne,
as the clerk
okay.
and the police, because everybody has to do that traveling.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so you would probably be in Maypen, but you
Right.
go to
Chapelton,
Chapelton.
if you're in St. Anne, you go Brownstone. If you're
Yeah.
in St. Catherine,
If you're in Trelawney, you don't go anywhere except Falmouth. You don't go to Hague, do you?
No,
I'm
you
not
have one in,
100%
you
sure,
have
but
one,
you have more
you
than
have
one.
one in Rock. You have one in Rock that's close to Hague. You have one in Duncan. You have one in
There are
Clarks.
Duncans.
Yeah, one in Clarks.
So from the
But
parish,
I have another question.
come on, you're not done yet. From the parish
Oh,
court,
sorry.
what's the next level up?
Next level up, as it were, because it's like a triangle. So we have the parish court, then we have the Supreme Court, which is where you're talking about the circuit court for criminal matters being tried like murder. And then we have the Court of Appeal.
Okay.
So, and the Court of Appeal has criminal jurisdiction as well as civil. So a matter can be appealed to the Court of Appeal. And if you lose there, you can go overseas to the Privy Council.
No, to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
No, you cannot go to the Caribbean Court of Justice because that is not our final appellate body as yet.
So who can go there then?
Well, that was a question I wanted to ask.
Sorry.
We don't go there. We go to the Privy Council.
To England.
So
But a cartel case.
And there are persons who are advocating that we ought now, since our Caribbean jurisprudence is so robust, and that is so true, we ought to separate ourselves from.
I thought it was optional for us in Jamaica.
for the listeners, right? For the listeners, the parish court is the lowest level, is the lower level, and
The first level, I don't like the word lowest because people
First
tend
level.
to think, before, I don't want to interrupt you, Leo, but this is important. People tend to think of it as being unimportant, and it's not, because as you can see, it has serious repercussions for your life many, many years later.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with the question. So, can a case be started at the Supreme Court, or it has to start done at the parish?
For the criminal jurisdiction, it starts in the parish court.
Okay, so
There are cases where they will basically take it from the parish court by a process, which is it's one of two. We can have what we call committal proceedings. That's literally another discussion. Or the director of public prosecutions can take the case to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Okay, I have one question before anybody else. Okay, so we know we saw in the media where the the Honorable Andrew Holness was appointed to the Privy Council, everybody was like going crazy because they were confused.
Positive crazy or negative crazy? Because I didn't really read
Negative.
that. I heard about it, but I didn't really.
Yeah, well, people are confused because they thought it was a court, like he was sitting on the court, Supreme Court.
Oh.
Can you explain the difference between?
I haven't really looked at it, but he's remembering that the Honorable Prime Minister is not an attorney. So as I understand it, and as I said, I have not looked at it, as I understand it, that is like an advisory position of sorts, but I couldn't go more into it because I am not very familiar with that aspect.
Yeah, it does. You know,
Okay,
Familiar with the aspect of the
aspect,
court.
yeah,
I'm familiar with the aspect of the court where if it were that you had a case at the Court of Appeal, a criminal case, since I've done the criminal case, and you as a defendant lost your case, you can now go to what we call the final appellate court, which is the Privy Council, for those law lords, because they're all attorneys, very senior attorneys, to hear your case. They're not hearing the case, meaning they listen to what Leo says and what Dianna says and what Michelle says. They are looking on the documents, the transcript of what took place in the courts below. And on that, they make a decision. They may say the verdict should stand, or they may say it should be sent back for retrial. Those are some of the things. And this, if it's a civil case, and I've done very few civil cases in the Court of Appeal. In fact, I've never done any. It's the same. They can say the appeal is allowed or the appeal is denied. The case should go back for trial or whatever. But the Privy Council, when you speak of the law, you're referring to the body that is above, as it were, the Court of Appeal. And that is the final body of lawyers who hear, of judges, well, they're all lawyers, who hear a case from Jamaica.
Dianna, I had a question.
What's that?
Dianna, I had a question.
I was trying to sort out in my head the different orders. So we have the Parish Court, then we have
Supreme
Court, where we have the Circuit Court. So yes, so cases there, criminal cases are heard in the Circuit Court. And this court that Leo I've heard too, when he said that they block up traffic and all of that. So the Circuit Court, let's say, begins, we have different terms. We have the Michaelmas term, which is the Christmas term. Then we have the Easter term, and then we have the Hillary term. So each term, there's a lot of pomp and pageantry that opens the court, and the court hears how many ever criminal cases that are on the list. And Leo claims that they block up traffic, but this is the wheels of justice moving and turning.
Yeah,
and in Kingston, everything is at the Home Circuit Court. But if it's in Trelawney, then you know it's Trelawney Circuit Court.
Yeah.
Which is Almouth, it's in St. Anne, and it's going to be in St. Anne's Bay and so on. And that literally goes on and on and on. The judicial holiday is August. So the circuit courts don't often sit, if at all, in August, but the gun courts may usually sit.
The gun court?
Gun court. The gun court is a very special creature that was born out of the Gun Court Act.
remember.
And for the Gun Court Act, it has jurisdiction for illegal possession of firearm and illegal possession of ammunition offenses.
So I think it came into being after 1976 election.
Yes, thereabouts, because that act is something in the 70s, like 78, somewhere around there, when that act was passed.
Yes,
So
yes.
persons who are accused of
Gun
offenses under the Gun Court Act, they are tried in the gun court jurisdiction of the court.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if you left out one, there was an appellate. court.
That's a court of appeal.
That's a court of appeal.
That's a court of appeal, yes, which has civil
Unreal.
and criminal civil and criminal jurisdiction.
Well, you
How
said
long
that
it take for you to be a lawyer? For me, look like Leo could have get in degree now.
3 years for your LLB and 2 years at Norman Manley Law School for us in Jamaica. If you're in Trinidad, you go to Hugh Wooding Law School. If
I'm on it.
Go to Eugene DePouche Law School.
Okay.
So
So let
in
me ask
all
something.
five.
Do you have to have an any undergraduate degree and then you go to the 2 years? Or it has to be an
I've met
law?
persons who, I remember this girl, I thought she was beyond brilliant. She had done all the sciences in sixth form, and she went and did her LLB. So it puts to bed the myth that people have that, well, you have to do history, or you have to do this, or you have to do that. Because in sixth form, she did only the sciences, you know, the chemistry, the physics, all of those.
Right.
And then
So
she did
when
the
she
LLB.
went to university, what did she study?
The LLB, she did the LLB, which is the Bachelor of Laws.
Okay, so that's my question. If you're undergraduate, can I do any undergraduate degree and then go do the 2 years?
Yeah. That is a
No, you have to do the LLB. You have to do the LLB. So that's a prerequisite for going to law school, because the dispensation is different than for the United States. In the United States, you go to what do you guys call it, Michelle? You go to law school for what? Is it 3 years?
Somebody just said to me, sorry, Nadine, please send me, let's say I did it wrong, but text me. Please send me the information for Jamaica on WhatsApp so that I can place it in Facebook for other listeners.
All right, ma'am. I shall do that right now.
Okay, but what I was saying though, Dr. Dianna, I know that I remember in Jamaica where they said we had to do A-levels. You know, like when they finish high school, they say you had to do A-levels after the pre-law program to get into UE. It was kind of false because you had children from Kingston who were able to go directly into the law program, and we were there wasting money for 2 years.
Well,
yeah, because they misled us. So this is what I'm saying. Like, no, you understand? Like, even here, you don't have to focus on one area, and they keep pressuring children, even in high school.
But in Jamaica, though, you have to get the LLB in order to go to Norman Manley Law School. So the dispensation is slightly different from what obtains in the States, because in the States, they do this, what do you call it, the bar exam.
Yeah.
We don't have a bar exam as such in the Caribbean. What we have is a 2-year professional.
A bar exam at Jerry Neville, but God.
Oh no, we have a 2-year program.
Yeah.
And that 2-year program is an extremely intense program where you're exposed to evidence, you're exposed to advocacy, you're exposed to criminal law practice. Of course, when you're finished, you still feel, oh my goodness, I don't know anything. But when you're finished and then you're admitted to the bar, you are a full-fledged attorney. You can
practice. So
yes.
I want to ask, in the States, if I was to turn up with my first degree in architecture, and I then decide I want to become an attorney in the US, what do I do?
Just apply to law school.
And how long would I stay?
Well, you have to do the LSAT. Law school is only 3 years. Now they've accelerated the program. If you want to go all year round, you can complete it in 2 years now? 2.5 years. So that's the thing. Like, no, they tell you, no, you don't have to focus on one area. Like in high school, either you're going to sciences or you're going to arts.
No, but I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about me migrating now and decide that I want to become an attorney.
Yeah, you just have to do the LSAT.
Okay.
You can law school, do the LSAT, get the score, apply, get in, and just.
Leo, are we that?
I tell you, me on it. Well, I want to thank Nadine for her beautiful extensive explanation of the Jamaican court system tonight.
Yes.
I don't think I want to be a part of it.
But it
Well, you
has
don't
lots
want
of positive aspects to it. Remember,
To give us
the legal system is as such that there are always going to be offenses, but we expect that a man gets his day in court, do we not? And every man or woman gets his or her day. Because some persons, I suppose, in keeping with the view that you must be guilty, but this may not be so, or in keeping with the view that we need lawyer for. We do serve some useful purposes, we have a little bit of value.
We serve a lot of purposes.
No, we do have a fair amount of value.
We help you to be rational.
The key thing to remember about the system is that the system is not something static. We make the system. We have to contribute to the system. And as a prosecutor, I have seen cases where persons will tell you point blank, "Me not come to court, him dead already. Me not come."
I'm about to challenge you on that. You say it's not static, but it is in fact static, isn't it?
But why I say that to say the system is made up of us. The system is not this piece of paper or this building. The system is Leo and Nadine and Michelle and Diana. The system is us.
But
and who is going to make the system work if not us?
I understand that, but when it ultimately comes to the law, that the judge is going to interpret and say, you're guilty, whether you smile every day or you have 2,000 people a day, you're guilty, right? That's the static part of it.
No, that's not the static part of it, That is the dynamics of it. And that is the interface that takes place.
Yeah, you're the attorney come out when I
Leo.
The attorney come out.
Remember, so we don't go yet.
You can't win.
We not going around here. Three of us who don't qualify yet.
Thank you, Nadine.
You're welcome.
You're always welcome here. Thank you so much for this.
Yes.
Thank you,
Nadine.
Thank
guys.
you, Nadine.
Thanks
I
very
need
much.
my autograph copy.
Absolutely. When you buy, you just send it and I will sign it and send it back.
I'll get mine too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take good care.
Okay,
All right. Have a good night. Michelle, I
Okay.
sent it. You see the link?
Yeah, I posted that. I thought you were going to send the Jamaica Connect.
The what, my dear?
The publisher's information.
Yes.
for
I'm
the-
sorry.
and Randall.
Let me do that right now. Let me send that as well. Let me just put that in.
What a wonderful experience this has been, because a lot of us, we only complain when it comes in the news every day that man, that happened, but we don't know what the inner works of the court system is about. And what Nadine did tonight for us, ladies and gentlemen, is that she opened up the doors of the courtroom for us to get a little preview of what it would be to have an attorney to go to court.
Remember, most courts, except for the gun court and those that deal with matters of a sexual nature, are open to the public. There used to be days when people would go and sit in court and watch. So one is able to go and sit in court.
Okay, so you hear it from the horse's mouth. So that's good. Whenever I get a chance, I'll go down and sit and listen.
As you should.
Yeah, and see. Yes, I want to see what is going on. Thank you so
And
much.
then you can register for the star.
I wasn't thinking that. But listen and learn.
To go on there, Nadine. Thank you.
Yes, ladies and two little gentlemen. So, Mr. Leo and Master
Fanger.
Have a good one, everybody.
All right,
I sent it, Michelle.
Yeah.
So you should see it.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle looks like she's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, you're stuck?
Frozen.
Yes, in stock. Poor thing.
I sent it, Michelle.
I'm back.
Okay, great. All right.
All right, guys, take good care.
You too.
Bye.
All right,
Beverly
bye-bye.
Brown said, yes, Nadine, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
No taking question.
Yeah, well,
Next time around.
questions in there?
Oh, you didn't ask. Yeah, I didn't see any question. Did you see any?
No, I didn't see any question. I just see
I
comments.
see a little argument brewing in here about not going to Jamaica because of crime, and somebody is saying, what about New York?
Exactly. There you go.
What about every part?
There you go.
I don't know.
All
Okay,
right, guys, take good care now.
you
Bye.
too. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Yeah, man. Thanks again. Take care.
Here we are. That was a good conversation.
It was.
Yes, it was quite
interesting.
enlightening for me. I like the idea that she has laid out a book that we can understand what happened in the parish courts in Jamaica.
Parish Court, yes.
What goes where and
you
how
expect
it's handled,
and
what's the process.
How to negotiate our way through it, and yes.
Yes, yeah, to have a sounder understanding of it. And again, it brings up to the fore the need for us to introduce civics back in school. So this becomes a part of the learning of our students, where they can understand the court system a little bit better.
Yeah, did you do civics in school, Michelle? No.
I did it in primary.
I did a civics exam. I remember reading a civics book because I remember when I was in primary school, I did JC.
JC.
We did it.
JSC
right?
exam.
Yes.
You did
They
the
cut it
JSC
out, right?
exam?
Come on, I did JC.
Yeah, man, I did like 10 JSC exams. I remember when I was in primary school doing them.
Them have more subjects than God. You can do it every year. You can do JC from you reach a grade like 8 or 9 or something like that.
No, I was in primary school. I hadn't finished grade 6 when I was in grade 5 doing JSCs.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yes, just before I did my common entrance, I was doing JSC.
Okay. Wow, that's nice. I didn't do it until I reached like grade 8. I would take them every year. I had whole heap of them. Whole heap. There's a lot of them.
I remember going there, pen and pencil sharp, more pencils it was, and different subjects, and it was fun. I wonder if I can get a copy of my pass certificate.
Dianna, are you seeing guinea on trees down there, please?
Yes, I'm seeing a few guineps on trees that don't belong to me nor you, but I'm also seeing vendors selling guineps as well.
Out on there?
I wouldn't buy them now though, because they're not sweet yet.
Yeah, me know. So I like go down there. I mean, me like going down in August.
So you coming to Jamaica, Leo?
Not telling you nothing.
All right, fine. Because your customers them online arguing about crime in Jamaica, and I think that it's important for us to assure them. Look here, I live in Jamaica. Yes, it's happening, but it's happening everywhere. So
that not stop me from going to Jamaica. All right, Jamaica, am Jamaica?
Yes.
So me come anyway, even them.
All right. So whenever you come, don't forget to look me up. I'd really love to have a sit down and to broadcast side by side with you in the same studio. You can walk with your studio, but we don't have no studio like that.
Michelle, love gets stuck. You see, that about crush.
No,
gets stuck.
this internet thing, man. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, I may tell you, if you never know better, me just say you're there Jamaica for out there through internet field stuff.
Jacksonville in
It's
there.
horrible. But you notice that Biden has realized it's an issue, right?
Yes.
And he said he's going to address it.
Yes, you're president.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's wrap it up. It's about 10:30 right now, so let's wrap it in.
Thank you, everyone. I see some questions coming in. Send
let's hear
your
the question.
email, and I will get the response from
Let
the
me hear some of the questions. Look, we hear some of the questions, then you're not.
And a question we can answer.
We can still hear them. What do you think? I am going to law school after this. So what you talk say?
Hi, Leo.
3 years in one class and 2 years in the other one. Nothing that.
Me depend that with you. Where we go?
Whichever one. You know,
online.
Michelle.
Online.
Quint Michelle, Quint.
No, okay. Pull up Facebook because some they go on in mine.
Oh,
This is one question and then I like 100 times unless I ask it over and over.
Somebody says, what is your Jamaican program to become a barrister? Neither of us can answer it right now.
Yeah, I never got licensed in Jamaica,
okay,
so I'm not sure the process.
here's
Does want to become a barrister in Jamaica, but after going your law degree, then you have to take the bar exam for whatever state you wish to practice. Much like a teaching certification, you have to take the bar exam for that other state. That seems to be the U.S. system.
Okay, and are there Veronique responded? A barrister is essentially a litigator because Veronique Blake is licensed to practice in Jamaica and also the United States. So she said a barrister is essentially a litigation attorney, particularly in high courts, and a solicitor is primarily prepared legal documents and attend to matters in the lower court. So one is for the upper court and one is for the lower court. In the US, we don't follow that system.
Okay. Sufficiently confused.
Did you read Trisha's song already? You read Trisha's song already?
Read hers. I don't see it.
The song said, but after getting your law degree, then you have to take the bar exam for whatever state you have wish to practice in. Much like teaching certification, you may have to take the bar exam for that other state.
That's
as
in the US.
States have been the same judicial system. For example, Louisiana is completely different from New York. I'm so happy that you guys were listening. I want to make it lighter for me because me get to understand by reading what you are say, Trisha, and what you are say, Veronique, and everybody else. And I'm thankful that you guys were listening, so you're able to help me because me dunce bad.
No, you're not done, Leo. You're not done. You're just not exposed.
I'm gonna come from Hague. Yeah.
Donks.
P-U-N-C-E.
Donks.
All right.
Donks.
All right, Doc, take us away.
As always, it's just good to spend some time to be informed, to get an opportunity to learn new things and to understand things better. I think that our guest this evening really enlightened us on a number of things beyond just parish courts in Jamaica or the court system. Had a robust conversation whilst we tried to dodge the bullet about criminal activity in Jamaica. We assure you that, yes, things are happening here, but it happens everywhere. So if you want to come home to your yard, come to your yard, come look for us. Keep yourself safe. Hold on to your handbag
We lost you.
as you would in New York, because them rob you hard in Italy.
And we'll call it again. With the Spanish place, Spain.
And Spain. So it's just for us to be prudent. So yes, things bad, but just be prudent when you get here. We miss you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again on Saturday morning.
So if me get into trouble, me can call your judge friend, right?
Hey, remember say me no belong to lodge. So that better me call your friend.
Call Michelle. No, call Michelle. Michelle.
In trouble, we
You
run.
have to abide by the law.
Huh? Run.
Excuse me.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I was glad that the course system was explained a little for those who are listening in, and I like the engagement of people asking questions about the court system. I'm not really familiar with the system in Jamaica, but we have attorneys like Veronique and also Nadine. If you have questions, you could definitely reach out to jdtime.org and send us questions. We'll respond. Have a lovely
Have a nice evening, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. All right. Bye-bye now.